Available now. Link below.
And now we're diving into a story that strikes at the very heart of our modern existence. Imagine a world with the flick of a switch. Our lifelines to society, our cell phones, the internet, even the basic ability to call for help vanish into thin air. This isn't a plot from the latest dystopian novel. It's a real threat that looms over us, highlighted by a recent widespread cellular service outage and the chilling possibility of an electromagnetic pulse attack. Governor Ron DeSantis has sounded the alarm, urging us to confront our vulnerabilities head-on. So as we peel back the layers of this complex issue, we invite you to stay with us for a report that not only exposes the frailties of our technological dependencies, but also calls into question our readiness for unforeseen disasters. You don't want to miss our final thought. This story matters, and I'll tell you why. And before we dive deeper into tonight's critical discussion, here's something you can't afford to ignore. In times like these, when the unexpected becomes our reality, being prepared is not just an option, it's a necessity. And that's why I want to talk to you about preparedwithgary.com. Right now, they're offering a $60 off 4-week emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. It's not just food, it's peace of mind. With over 2,000 calories a day, these meals last up to 25 years. I'm ready. Are you? Are you going to ensure you're ready for anything, be it natural disasters or, heaven forbid, even an EMP strike? Don't wait for the next outage to happen. Visit preparewithgary.com today. Your survival could depend on it. Now, in a press conference that caught the nation's attention, Governor Ron DeSantis raised a critical alarm beyond the immediate chaos of cellular outages, a potential electromagnetic pulse strike. This wasn't just about lost signals or inconvenienced consumers. It was about national security and our collective future. He said, imagine if we had an attack. What would happen in this country? His inquiry wasn't speculation. It was a stark warning about the vulnerability in an increasingly digital world. Now, the context of DeSantis' concern was a massive disruption in cellular service experienced by AT&T customers. It happened on Thursday morning. Over 100,000 users found themselves cut off from the world. Calls wouldn't go through. Text vanished into the ether, and the internet, a utility as essential as water or electricity to the modern American, was inaccessible. Let's watch.
Like having like cell, it's like, imagine if we had like an EMP attack or something like that, what would end up happening in this country? So it's not necessarily a good thought, because you think you're just so naturally reliant on having cell service. If you're in the car, you need to figure out where you're going to go, all this other stuff. So it's a little bit jarring to think about the implications if something like that happened on a much grander scale. We're here today.
Now, the outage unfolded at a pace that seemed to underscore DeSantis' point. Initially reported in the early hours, it wasn't just a momentary glitch, but a prolonged silence that stretched across the country. Customers scrambled, services halted, and the reliability of our communication infrastructure was called into question. Amidst the backdrop, DeSantis' words resonated with chilling clarity. The outage, while temporary, was a vivid illustration of how dependent society has become on technology. Not just for convenience, but for survival. And the Florida governor didn't just spotlight the outage, he used it as a springboard to discuss a far graver potential threat, an EMP strike. Now, such an event, caused by a burst of electromagnetic energy, could devastate the nation's power lines, telecommunications, and electronic equipment far beyond the scope of any natural disaster or conventional attack that we prepare for. As the days wore on, the outage impact became starkly evident. Not just individuals, but businesses, emergency services, and even basic governmental operations felt the strain. The reliance on cellular networks for everything from emergency calls to two-factor authentication for secure websites was laid bare as a vulnerability. Now, the absence of immediate answers from AT&T about the cause of the outage, speculation ran rampant. Was it a technical glitch, a failed update, or something more sinister? The company's statement that they don't know necessarily what caused the outage only added fuel to the fire over concerns over the robustness of the American telecommunications infrastructure. Let's take a look at this local report on that.
Good morning, Oklahoma. Maybe you're looking at your phone and it's saying SOS. What's going on? My husband had that this morning and he's freaking out. And I was like, did you do your phone updates? No, this is all happening at 3 a.m. So we did that. Coming to work. He's not the only one, guys. If you're experiencing that, it may be a result of space weather. okay? I'm going to do my best to explain what's going on. Let's go ahead and take a look. So there was a strong solar flare event that happened just after midnight, and they actually captured an image of it right here, okay? I had to look up this scale. I wish I knew everything about space weather. That's a whole different specialty. But R3, that's for radio communications. It's on a scale of 1 to 5, and 3 is pretty bad. That means it impacts radio communications for a few hours after this happens. And so right now that could be impacting some of our technology. And sadly, we're entering a solar maximum where we're going to see more and more solar storms, solar flares. And it's never happened in this time of human history where we're relying on technology like we have never before. So interesting time. Hopefully they'll fix it. But the good news is, at least when you're on Wi-Fi, you should be able to still text and call people, right? But there is an effect on radio. It peaked right after midnight. And there you go. A flare is an eruption of energy. You have these electromagnetic waves shooting towards the Earth at the speed of light. So it's almost immediate impact on the light side of Earth where the sun lights up. And so there you have it. We'll see. The ionosphere is protecting us from all this stuff, but it can interrupt radio communications.
Now, the outage wasn't an isolated incident. It was a symptom of a larger issue. AT&T's eventual explanation, attributing the disruption to a process error during network expansion, might have offered some closure on the immediate crisis, but did little to address the underlying fears DeSantis articulated. The event highlighted not just the physical infrastructure's fragility, but the psychological impact of such vulnerabilities on the American public. Now, the ramifications of the outage and DeSantis' dire warnings extended beyond the day's news cycle. They sparked a national conversation about preparedness, resilience, and the future of American infrastructure in the face of both known and unimaginable threats. The conversation wasn't limited to political circles or just tech enthusiasts. It reached into every American household that found itself suddenly cut off, every business that realized how much it relied on digital connectivity, and every level of government forced to confront the reality of our technological dependencies. Now, in the aftermath, the call to action was clear. DeSantis' warning about the potential for an EMP strike was more than just conjecture. It was a call to bolster our defenses, to rethink our reliance on digital technology, and to prepare for a future where such threats might become all too real. Now, the federal response to the outage and the potential threats underscored the seriousness of the situation. Investigations by the Federal Communications Commission, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Department of Homeland Security into the outage signaled a recognition of the critical nature of the telecommunications security. Meanwhile, discussions at the highest level of government, including at the White House, about the outages and its implications for national security reflected the broader concerns that DeSantis had raised. So as the nation reflected on the outage and its broader implications, the consensus was clear. The time for complacency is over. The need for robust, resilient infrastructure that can withstand not just the challenges of today, but the potential calamities of tomorrow is paramount. Governor DeSantis' warning served as a wake-up call, urging the nation to confront its vulnerabilities head-on and prepare for a future where the stakes couldn't be higher. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, in today's world, our reliance on technology is a double-edged sword. Governor DeSantis' stark warning about an EMP strike in the wake of AT&T's massive outages isn't just about the here and now. It's a forewarning of the challenges that lie ahead. This incident shines a light on our vulnerabilities, underscoring the urgent need for preparedness and resilience in our national infrastructure. As we move forward, let's take this as a call to action. We must strengthen our defenses, not just against the threats we know, but against those we can scarcely imagine. It's not just about securing our present, it's about safeguarding our future. So for the sake of our republic, we must rise to meet this challenge.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.